Everybody, earlier today I did a live video.
I am going live.
Oh yeah,
Check the feed.
Woo! Okay.
Here's your first tip, Oliver.
I don't know what happened. It's like voodoo when you're doing these live videos at times.
Yes, I'm going to try to unplug my...
Essentially, I got cut off, and so I want to make that up to everybody. I'm going to just provide a couple of quick answers to how I work with clients in case you missed the live feed. For those of you who saw it, big thumbs up. Thank you for asking questions. There were so many good ones. I'm going to hit the main ones here because I have a few of these. Okay, so this is going to be not like my normal videos because I'm going to just power through it. Here's the deal. Very broad overview. Working with clients is working with people. You are working with people that hopefully have a similar vision as you. That's the first thing. You got to figure out clients. You got to figure out what they want. You got to let them know how you work. And if you're new to this, I get that you don't know exactly how you work yet, but basically you just have a conversation with somebody. That's what working with a client is. So the better you are at communicating, the better it is working with clients. One of the first questions that we got essentially was asking, how do you talk to clients about money if you're really nervous about it and you're new to this whole thing? And for that, I would say, well, talking about money is never easy, but you should do it early and at the very beginning of your relationship. So once you get with a client, the first thing I do is I say, hey, what's your vision? What do you want to produce? And I listen. Listening is key to working with clients. And then once you've kind of got that, you can say, okay, what's your budget? What are you trying to do? You may have talked with other people before. I'm kind of curious what you're working with. That's an easy way to say, how much money do you have? What's your budget? That's how I say it. Oftentimes, if they're new to working with filmmakers, they won't know how much making films cost. That's where your job is now trickier because you have to explain some of the filmmaking process to them. And I'm hoping that through this course that Jonas and I are doing, we're going to enlighten you guys into how all that works. Now, I have made 2 videos on how much things cost, and then another one where I talk about the cost of crew. And so I'm going to put links up here at the top. So watch those. Essentially though, I know that from over 400 videos, I work well at about $2,000 a minute. Now for a lot of you, that's going to sound like a lot of money. For some of you, it might not sound like that much. But I throw that out to start and I say, that's what I've worked with in the past. Is that something that seems doable? We could go higher or we could go lower. And so oftentimes I will also give them a couple of different sides of that scale, okay? Now here's where it's important then to figure out what their vision is. You know, show them some of the work that you've done in the past. If you haven't done any work in the past, then this is gonna be tricky. You can say, look, that's $2,000 a minute. That's $10,000 for that film right there, that 5-minute film. Now, are you thinking we want to go more, like bigger budget? Should we take it to the next level? I'd love to go to the next level, obviously. It's something you always want to push for a little bit. And if they don't have that money, because sometimes, I mean, that's a lot of money for people, especially Jonas and I work with scientists. And so we try to say, okay, this is what we've done in the past. How can we get creative? Like, would you like to more or less write the script? Would you like to write the outline? Would you help pay for accommodation? Because maybe that's an easy thing to do. Is there a way that maybe you can give us full creative control and we can also share ownership? That'll reduce the cost. These are the ways that I work with clients, and I try to make it so that everybody's happy, okay? That's definitely one of the things that I do. And then in this whole process, you're starting to learn and adapt, and every client, then you adjust what your pitch is. So I did get a question from Oliver. Oliver asked, how do you start doing this when you've never done it before? And I totally understand where you're coming from. This is the advice that I would say for you, Oliver. I kind of addressed it in our live feed, but I want to fully address it here. You have to work with people at the beginning where you probably work for free or in a barter situation. If you're really brave, you can come right out of the bat and you can say, I'm going to charge you X thousands of dollars for this film, which would be great. But an easier way to get into it, this is how I got into it, I started making videos as a barter. So here's a couple barters that we did. Jonas and I learned how to skydive, and we said, you know what? How about we make videos for you, and you give us free skydives. And so one time we got 100 free skydives for a whole training course that we made. It took us a week or two, but we were jumping and skydiving the whole time. It was awesome. Sometimes we make it real simple and we say, we're making a video for kids about some science topic. We don't have any money in it, but we'd like to profile your drop zone. Would you let us do one free tandem skydive in exchange for essentially making sure your name is in the video? So there's almost no effort that they need, just one spot on the airplane and a jump master. And we give them something in exchange. So it's kind of win-win. And so you got to figure out what kind of videos you want to make, and then start figuring out how much time it takes to work with those people. So you're getting practice without all that added pressure of them paying you a bunch of money and then you feeling stressed about it. That's what you want to avoid. So I hope that helped, Oliver. Definitely watch those videos about how much we charge clients so that then you can start educating people that you work with and you can say, well, other people do this. I will say, I think it's best to just be honest with people. Don't try to scam clients because it's going to come back on you. Somebody did ask, what is your ideal client and why? And this relates to that. I think your ideal client is somebody that shares your vision and wants to do the same thing. Now that is tricky, but that's going to be your goal. That's the ideal client. That's not always going to happen. But for instance, Jonas and I have a passion about the natural world, and we want to find people who want to help tell those stories. So we have worked with the U.S. Forest Service to try to tell those stories. We worked with the Science Channel, for instance. We've worked with the universities to work with the researchers to tell those stories. We work with a group down in Ichue who wants to tell the story of fire and gopher tortoises. And all those things we're passionate about too. So we're like, how can we how can we team up and make sure that we're telling this fantastic story? So when you find a good client who values you for the work that you're doing and you have a good relationship, then work hard to make sure that everybody's happy in that situation. And so that relates back to a lot of the things that I said, and it's all a communication thing in the end. There is no like, here's a checklist, do all these things and you're gonna win. And I know that Jonas and I take a somewhat different approach than a lot of people. My dad, for instance, says, Rob, do you want to make videos or do you want to run a business? Because they're two very different things. and I get where he's coming from, but I want to make videos and I want to tell good stories about things that I'm passionate about. And I think that there is a way to work with people to do that. I don't want to run a cutthroat business. It's just not how I do things. I want to do things in a way that are true to who I am, true to who Jonas is. And that's why Jonas and I are spending a lot of time every week just putting these videos out. And that's why I was so stressed out that this live video cut out halfway through. So I probably shouldn't apologize for it because that's how live video is. But that's why I'm doing this now at very late o'clock. I'm going to be so tired tomorrow. I hope this was valuable. I am going to make a video that kind of follows up on some of the questions that you have. So here's how you can help. Leave your comments down below. Leave your questions down below. I will address them in a future video. Clearly, this is not like most of our videos. This is just a little bit more of a conversation. I try to answer as many of the questions as possible, especially if you ask them within the first week. That's how Jonas and I work. After that, hopefully other people can help answer your questions in the comments. And yeah, we want to help everybody out here because we want to make sure that everybody is able to tell good stories. That's the whole point. Now, if you're following along every week with this whole 52 things business, then working with clients might seem out of place, but it's so important and it's something people don't talk about enough. So that's why this was a little bit of a conversation. I'm hoping that it helped. It's not my usual style of video, but it's late and the live feed cut out halfway through. So that's why I'm doing it. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
It is hot in the studio right at the moment. I'm gonna pop another one.
And then all echoey and static.
Oh, crud.